What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Welcome to Lifestyles Defined. Yeah, in case you're wondering, that's another excerpt on that intro from that mix that I've been running my mouth about for the last week or so. If you go to the website, top right corner, here it is. August 2015 mix by DJ Canyon. Such a dope mix, man. Wherever you are in your car, your barbecue, your commute, download the mix, enjoy it, give us some feedback, let us know that you love it. But anyway, the star of today's show is none other than Cortana. Here she is in all her glory. And let me start off by saying I was very excited when the word first got out that Cortana would be joining Windows 10. I thought this was one of the dopest decisions we've seen in a long time. Aside from Cortana even existing on its own, right? So just to give you a little bit of history for those of you who don't know what or who Cortana is, let's just say she's Microsoft's version of Siri. So yes, Apple made the little the Siri. They made her very personable, and it was more a gimmick, but they had some cool stuff that Siri was able to do. But all in all, it didn't impress for too long. Then came along Google with Google Now, and they sort of changed the game with the contextual behavior and the proactive behavior, and how she was always scanning your emails to know more about you and paying attention to where you go. That was pretty dope. And then Microsoft followed third, last but not least, with Cortana. And Cortana is a nice mix of the two. In fact, I prefer the balance to Cortana. So with Cortana, you get a lot of the personality of Siri, but some of the functionality of Google Now as well. So I think it's a very dope product, and I think it was a killer move to make it one of the hero features on Windows 10. I quite enjoyed it a lot. So here's Cortana. There's a few ways that you can really bring her up. You can always click in the empty area here, and you know, she'll pop up with this feed and a list of everything that you want to see, and I'll tell you how to get to that in a bit. The Windows and the C, that's a shortcut that'll also bring her up, and she'll start listening immediately. Or if you set up Hey Cortana, you can just say, Hey Cortana. Hey Cortana. My phone responded. Now the reason she's very non-responsive is I'm using the default mic, which is the Yeti, which is a very sensitive mic to actually record my audio. So she's then defaulted over to the mic in the webcam. So it's not as responsive, but that, you know, that has nothing to do with you guys. This is more one of my things. Now, one of the things that immediately stands out is the Hey Cortana here on the desktop is a lot more different than it is on the phone, meaning the responsiveness. So on the phone, you have to say the keyword, pause for a second, let her come up and get initiated, and then you ask her what you want to know. Here on the desktop, you can blurt it out all one language. Let me see if I can get that out to show you guys. Hey Cortana, what is the weather for tomorrow?
The forecast for tomorrow shows sun with a high of 84 and a low of 68.
There you go. Looks like another beautiful day in New York. Now, I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with the processing power of the hardware, but man, I would love for them to figure out a way how to get that done on the phones. It's just a lot more natural. It just flows. But nonetheless, so when you start up Cortana, unless you're actually asking her something or you just want to browse, this is pretty much the view you'll get. And these are all things that I want to see, right? Mostly. I need to take this top news crap out because it's literally always depressing. Look at this. Everything's depressing. What is this world coming to? But first is the weather. You can collapse it to see more of the forecast. Very handy. You have the science stuff. I'm not big into science, but it pays every now and then to get in there and really see what's going on. Plus, it's it's a good mix of, I wouldn't say hardcore science, but science and technology. So that's always fun to read. I've got Brooklyn because I don't have cable. I don't read newspapers. So it's good to be able to have something curate the news that's going on around me that I can actually, you know, stay abreast to. That's cool. I got my Microsoft Horror section. You guys know me. It's got to be there. Recommended news. This is fine. No qualms there. And then, of course, the restaurants around me. I'm a big foodie. I like to go out a lot. So how do we get that information in there? Well, all that information is actually kept here in the notebook. This is where you tell Cortana everything about you. And now there are some concerns people had. You know, there's a lot of privacy stuff to be aware of here, and I encourage you to read through that stuff. But should you be worried? No. You know, yes, Cortana, Google Now, Siri, they all track what you do. They skim your email for information. They pay attention to where you go, the most frequent places you visit. But this is all in the name of convenience. I have nothing to hide. So, I mean, I've given up a little information about myself, or a lot, so that I can get alerted to when it's time to leave to go to work in the morning. Sure, you can know that. So if you go into the About Me, here's where you set what you wanted to call you. There's also the favorite places. For instance, work. You would tell her your work address. You would tell her your home address. And in the morning, you know, if it becomes a pattern, she says, hey, I notice you leave every day at 8 o'clock and you get to this place here at 9 o'clock. She'll start to make that recommendation for you based on today's traffic or the MTA train schedule. You may want to leave a little later or a little earlier than usual to get to work for that 9 o'clock. And that's something that's always super dope to have. I really enjoyed that. Then there's in the actual settings itself, you can turn on the ideas, which is pretty much what I was just describing. You can turn on the Hey Cortana. I like it. I like to be able to, you know, whether you're browsing the web, typing something up, you can just say Hey Cortana and ask to define a word, or, you know, whatever it is, and it'll pop up in the Cortana window in a very non-intrusive way. So you can actually still read that information and not be, you know, interrupted by a whole new web page unless you click on it. So I think that's dope. They got the Find Flight stuff, which is cool, and the Tad Bar tidbits. The tidbits are cool. Every now and then I'll see some articles or some headlines flash across here, or severe thunderstorm or something. That type of stuff will show up here, so that's cool. Now to the actual notebook, the Cortana tips. Yes, you'll want that on. That's the tip cards I was telling you about. But then here's the cool stuff, right? So the eat and drink, and here you can actually tell her what type of restaurants you like, the cuisine, the decor of the place. You can, you know, there's I thought this was funny, kid friendly. I don't know who the hell, unless you got kids, I'm not going anywhere kid friendly. I hate kids running around screaming, and just almost made me curse. Then there's events. I leave this on. It's very good. And this is actually come in handy. You know, we're out for a night on the town, me and my lady, and we pass a theater, and the card will pop up. Oh, I didn't even know that movie came out. We'll stop by, or it'll tell us about plays in the area. I think that stuff's really dope. Finance, I got nothing there. Of course, the getting around. The getting around is a big one for me. I just like to know what's going on. You can set your preferred mode of transit. I wish they would give me a little more options where I can say, okay, Monday through Friday I use transit, but Saturday and Sunday I use driving. That's something I'll probably request in the feedback. I'll tell you a little more about the feedback in a bit. Then you've got your meetings and reminders, and we'll get into that in a minute. You know, it's pretty much more the same you've seen in the weather here. You've seen in Cortana on the Windows Phone or Google Now or Siri. But this is pretty much where she learns everything that you see here on the home feed. Then you've got your reminder stuff here. What's actually dope about the reminder stuff is it syncs across the board. Now I don't have any, but Cortana's reminder system is actually pretty dope. It's a few different ways to set reminders. You can set reminders for time, like I don't know, set an alarm to wake me up in an hour, and it doesn't matter what time it is, and exactly an hour from now your alarm will go off. Or you could say, hey, next time I pass Best Buy, remind me to you know, pick up some HDMI cables or something. And then she'll come back and say, hey, why am I saying it? Why don't I just show you? Remind me next time I pass a Best Buy to pick up some HDMI cables.
All right. Remind you when you get to Best Buy. There's one on 8923 Bay Parkway in Brooklyn. Is this the one you want?
See, this is dope. She picked the one closest to me. So what I'll
I
say
can
is
remind
any
you
Best
to pick
Buy.
up some HDMI cables when...
And I can go ahead and edit that HDMI. So what happens here is, no, I don't want any time. Yeah, that's fine. What happens here
Great.
now
I'll
is
remind you.
anytime
You can
I
also
pass...
see it in your reminders list anytime.
All right, thank you. Anytime I passed any Best Buy, that reminder will actually pop up on the phone. Although I entered it on the PC. You see what's dope there? There's a bunch of cool stuff like that. Or you can tell it, hey, remind me to call my mom when I get home. And when you get home, you know, the minute it senses you're home because you said in your favorite places that this is home, you'll get that reminder pop up on your screen and say, hey, would you like to call mom? And you just have to hit that call button. Simple things like that I think is super dope about the Remind system. And then last, you got the feedback. Very important. This is sort of the new mantra for Windows, for Microsoft in general, is feedback. They're listening. That's pretty much what sculpted Windows 10. Yeah, they've been listening. So a few things I've been meaning to suggest here. I got it in my notes. Just copy and paste it in and send it off. But yeah, the feedback is very important. As always, you can find feedback literally all over the OS. If there's something you don't like, something you'd like to add, it just, you know, take your time, suggest it there. So yeah, I mean, that's Cortana in a nutshell. I think it's a welcome addition to Windows 10. I think it's a hell of a hero feature, something that we can really look to and say, yeah, that's a dope feature. That's something that should make you feel a lot stronger about upgrading to Windows 10 from whatever version you're on, or even purchasing new hardware. You know, this is dope stuff. I think Cortana has a long way to go, especially when it comes to tackling a lot of the functionality that already exists with Google Now. But as it is right now, I think it's dope. And oh, I almost forgot. So let's say, you know, if you notice from the old versions, if we go over to, let's say, a Windows 7, if I wish to type, I don't know, clean, this is the indexed menu. And because this is a fresh VM, I don't have any files on here. So if I had file names, I'd be able to search it like Skype. Let's see if I can search Skype. You see it pops up anything here in the list. Now, this is something like not a lot of people really knew about Vista or didn't appreciate about Vista. And I still find people don't use this search index menu a lot in Windows 7, and they should. I mean, this thing can pull up everything from documents to contacts to calendar appointments, everything. So you notice when you hit start, it's right here, but in Windows 10, kind of not the same, right? You still see that Cortana. But what Microsoft's done is pretty much put all that in one. So you could ask some Cortana something like define contextual. Did I spell that right? Now, pay attention to what you see here. There's an option, right? You have my stuff or you have web. You can say the web and boom, she takes us directly to the web, which is dope. Or I can say something like dance hall. Notice immediately, here's that dance hall file, there's that dance hall file. And here's some stuff from the store. And then if that's not what I'm looking for in my stuff, I even got more of it. So I think they did a really classy job at merging a lot of functionality into Cortana and making her aware of what you might be looking for. I really like that. But yeah, that's Cortana in a nutshell. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, this is definitely only one part of the continuing Windows 10 review. The other video that's up right now is the start menu. Make sure you check that out on the channel. Subscribe for more. Got a lot coming. Next, I'm gonna cover the Action Center and a lot of what's going on over there. Just get a little preview. A lot of dopeness going on there. We'll talk about that in the next video. It's your boy Ramon. Lifestyles Defined. Thanks for checking us out. I'm out of here. Peace.